So we're going to look at making this 5-pointed star that I have here. And we're using a technique called modular origami. So in modular origami, you're using a module or a unit, and you're making a number of these modules or units, and you're putting them together in such a way that they make a 3D shape like we have here. So depending on the size of the paper that you use, that will determine the size of the star that you end up with. So this one here is made from 7.5 centimeter square paper, and that gives us that size. If I use slightly bigger paper, you'll see you'll get a slightly bigger star, and this one here uses 10 centimeter square paper, and then I have a small one here. Again, that's a smaller one, and that uses 5 centimeter square paper. You can see here, sometimes I use just plain paper and sometimes I use pattern paper, and you could use a mix of the two as well. I also have one here where I'm just using plain paper, but it's different colours. So here I've got different colour greens and yellows, and I just fold them into each other, and that gives us our star here. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use just regular A4 printer paper. So it's going to be very plain. Now again, you could decorate your paper before you start. I haven't done that here, I've just gone for a very plain one, but that's what we're going to make today using a sheet of paper like we have here. So you will need 2 sheets of A4 paper. I'm just going to remove these here out of the way so that you can see what I'm doing. Just take those there, and I'll take that one out as well. So what we want to do is we want to take a sheet of A4 paper here, and I just have 2 there, so I'll just take one of them out. So what we want to do is we want to make this into square paper. So what I've started with all the time is square sheets. I have a rectangular sheet here, so I want to make it into square paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tip here, and I'm going to fold over to the other side. And what I want to do is I just want to roll along the side here until I have halved the angle here at the top. So this angle here is roughly halved now, and then I just come down along and I crease here at the end, or I pinch here at the end. I then open it out and I bring my tip up here down onto where I've just pinched, and again you're looking to halve the angle down here, and then you crease at the other side, or pinch at the other side. If I open that out now, you'll see that I've got a pinch mark here and a pinch mark here. I'm just going to turn it round so you can see it a little bit easier. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold the pinch mark here and fold down on it, and then you just square it here at the side and you crease as you go. Now when I open this out, you should see that I have square. So what I now want to do is I'm going to take a scissors and I'm going to trim this excess. So I just turn it round to the side and I just trim as I go. So I'm just cutting along my crease line that I have just made, and that gives me square page. So the next thing I want to do is I want to make this into 4 different squares. So I'm just going to fold up from the long edge up to the top, give that a good crease. I'm going to open it out, turn it, and fold again from the long edge here up to the top. Now all I'm doing here is just making the larger square into 4 smaller squares. I'm going to cut those out again, and then those will help me to make my units. So I'm just going to open that out, and once I have it opened out, I'm just going to cut along my crease lines again. And then I just cut here again. So those are 2 squares, and I take another 2 here and just cut along the crease line, and that gives me 4. Now I had said I wanted a 5-pointed star, so I need 5 squares to start with. So I've just done exactly the same thing with more A4 paper, and I'm just using one of the squares from that. So again, just a reminder, this is the unit that I want to fold. So I'll just open it out and you can see here that that's just my square, and that's what I'm folding it into. So I'll just leave that there for reference. I'm going to take one of these sheets and we will start folding. So I'm taking my tip here and bringing it over to the opposite tip. So it's corner to corner and then crease. So I'll just put that down there and just crease along. If I open it out and turn it, now what I want to do is I want to go from this corner here up to this corner here. So what I'm doing effectively is I'm just halving my paper and I'm just putting in folds. Open it out again and turn it a little bit. This time now I want to go from the long edge up to the long edge here. So I just make sure that they're aligned and then I crease here in the middle again. The creases are very important. Open it out again, turn it around, and then I'm just going from my long edge up to the top again. So again, just align it at the top and then crease. Now I'm going to open it out and turn it over. So what you'll see here is I have what are called mountain folds. So you see all these ridges, and that's because I folded in a particular way. So on this side I have all mountain folds. If I turn it over, so they're the ridges, so they're mountain folds. If I turn the paper over, you'll see here we have what are called valley folds, and they just fold in on each other. So here sometimes we want to turn a mountain fold into a valley fold. So what we're going to do is we're just going to fold back on here, just along the middle, just like that. We don't do it on the diagonals, we just do it on the middle ones here. Turn it again and fold back here. So now when I open it out, and I want my ridges, my mountain folds on the diagonals, and then once I push those in, so I'm pushing in on the diagonals and it just folds in on itself, and that is one unit. I'm just going to do another one here. So I'm taking a piece of paper again, so one of my squares, and again remember I'm going from corner into corner and I am creasing. Now you can see here this one, it's a little bit off, but that's okay. It's quite a forgiving piece of modular origami here. So I'm just creasing there, open it out again, and we're going corner again up to corner here, and we're going to crease along here. I'm going to open it out again and turn, and this time I'm going long edge up to long edge, and again I crease, and then I open it out again and I turn it, and I again go long edge to long edge. Now the last thing I have to do now, once I've done that many creases, is open it out again, and remember I want to turn it over so all my mountain folds are on the top, and I want to convert my mountain folds to valley folds here. So I just turn them over on themselves, open it out, turn it again, and then turn this mountain fold into a valley fold. So again I just turn it back on itself. Next I just open it out again, and now I start pushing in on the diagonals here, and once I do that, sorry, just slipped there, I just push it in, and that is another unit here. If I do the same thing again, so we just have to do this 5 times, so I'm just going to literally go corner to corner there. Again you can see this one's a little bit out. Open it up and go corner to corner again, like that, and then we're going to open it out again, and this time I'm going to go long edge to long edge. So we have that here, and I crease, open it out again, and this time I'm going long edge to long edge up here. So I'm literally halving the square each time. So twice corner to corner and twice long edge to long edge. I now open it out. I have my valley folds here. So I open it this way where I have my mountain folds. I'm folding it back on itself. I'm opening it out, turning it, and I'm turning this mountain fold again into a valley fold. and I'm opening it out again. Once I get to this point, I'm pushing in on the diagonals, and then I'm just aligning that a little bit so that this one's a tiny bit out here. So I'll just push that in there a little bit, and then just creasing it. And there is my third unit. Now you will have to do the same thing with the other 2 sheets of paper you have here. So if you've been working along with me, I'd suggest now that you pause the video and you fold those other 2. I have 2 that I have pre-made here, so there's one of them, and here is the other. So I'll just take those 2 sheets of paper out of there, and now we have our 5 units. So what we're now going to do is we're going to start putting this together. So I'm going to take 2 units here. So you always start by putting 1 unit into another with modular origami. So I'm opening it up like this. What you have here is you have tips here, and you'll often have that with modular origami. You're folding so that you have tips, but you also have pockets. So there's little pockets in here, and I'm just going to slide the tips. So you can see here, I'm just sliding the tips into the pockets. It's really important, and I'll just show you there, that you have 1 tip on each side. Once you have, then you can just slide it all the way in until it fits nice and snugly, and that's as far as that one's going to go. We're going to turn it like this, and then we open up in the middle. So we just open that up there, and then just fold it back on itself. So we're just aligning the tips here, and then we're just folding, we're just creasing here. Okay, so that's 2 units put together. And now you can start to see, so if I look at one of the ones that I've made before, this is what we're looking for here. And you can see that we're starting to get that here. So I'm just going to fold this back in again, just leave that up there out of the way. I'm going to take another unit, and now here's my pockets again, and here are my tips. So I'm just going to open out this little pocket here to make sure that I can get the tip in. So I'm just sliding the tips in there. Again, slide in all the way until it's nice and snug, so that won't go any further. Once I do that, then I turn it on its side, and I just push out the pocket here and push up to the top, and then just crease. So we're creasing, and what you'll see is when we're creasing, we're having this, and that's actually giving it the structure. That's giving it the structure and turning it from a 2D unit or a 2D piece into a 3D or 3-dimensional piece. So there's 2 of my points on my star. There's 3 points on that star now, really, because I've put 3 units together. I'm taking the next unit, and again I just flatten this down, and then I'm taking my tips and I'm sliding into the pockets. I'm pushing all the way in until it will go in no more. With this one, that's as far as it'll go, and that's what I'm saying. It's quite forgiving. It's quite a forgiving piece, this modular origami piece. Again, once I've pushed it all the way in and I'm happy it's all the way in, then I fold it back on itself. So I align the tips at the top here, and then I am just folding or creasing there. So that is 4 units now put together. So now we need to put the last unit. And with modular origami, the last unit is often the trickiest one. Now the first piece of it is going to be okay, because I'm just putting my tips into my pockets again. Just slide those in. Slide it all the way along until it can go no further. Open out the pocket here and just align and crease. So we've done the same thing every time, and this is just the last time we're doing it. So now you can start to see my structure of my star. So what we now have to do is we need to put these ones into each other. So what I'm going to do here, and you'll often find, as I said, with the modular origami, that it's the last bits that are the trickiest ones. So here I've got my tips. I would do these one at a time. So there's one tip here, and I'm going to just slide that tip into the pocket here. Now it is just a matter of continually manipulating it until it goes in. So you just have to keep sliding. That's going in quite easily for me there. Just slide it in along, and that's as far as it'll go. And then I need to come on the other side and do exactly the same thing. So I'm just going to take the tip here, push it into the pocket, and then just slide it again. So just slide that in there. Once they're both in, then you can just push it all the way in, just like that. And now what we need to do is we just need to push this in here, and that will allow me to crease on the outside here, and then turn it over, and we just need to crease here at the halfway point as well. So there is my 5-pointed star, just from 2 sheets of A4 paper. So what we have here is the 5-pointed star. You can also make a 6-pointed star. So it's exactly the same as what I've done there. So I've got 2 different versions here. So what we've done this time is we have just used 6 units rather than 5. So you can see here that there's 6 points and this one 6 points, and it's exactly the same. We just add 1 additional unit. So it's really up to yourself which ones you want to make.